Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Live 19, Episode 4. We're actually here in ANZ, Sydney, the Hilton. And what I've done is I've taken the liberty to have a chat to some of the participants over these 3 days to find out, what their key highlight is and equally, what their main takeaway will be as they head back into the office on Monday morning. So let's listen to the guys now. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Whittaker, take a step up to the stage. Hello, Sarah.
Hey, E.
Scott, welcome to Live TV. Ladies and gentlemen, here with Mark Mulligan, the commercial director for ANZ. I'm here with the one they call Dom Massetti, with the amazing Preeti. Here she is, the new kid on the block, Elise. Sam, hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Loz Ross, hi, welcome. Here we are, Carissa Collins, Bobby Kay, Borche, Bob Kaczynski, the Silver Fox. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Live TV, Episode 4. First up, Darren Brown. What has been your key highlight of the 3 days?
I think, first of all, the introduction of Enabler. Seeing the videos on the network brands and really introducing that to the team here, I found very powerful.
I think the Enabler piece was excellent. Really brought it all together for us, particularly all the brands, and how we can work and collaborate with them for adding value to each business. I think it's really, really good.
Just seeing how Travelex fits into the Enabler group.
I think a highlight for me is learning about the Enabler business.
And really the impact that we can have as part of that and how we contribute.
And I'm just intrigued to see how we're all going to work together to better the whole group now.
I think just hearing a little bit more about sort of Enabler and sort of where Travelex fits in that and our opportunity to influence the values and the vision that sort of comes together over the next year or two.
What's quite inspiring about Enabler is that we don't have all the answers yet, so we really are co-creating in a true sense. It's being organically developed, and the investment in culture and that not just being a buzzword, but it being something that they want us as leaders to create was inspiring. It was heartening. It's a new way of doing things. I love it.
So, Live 19, it's been a fantastic 3 days. What has been your key highlight?
I think for me, really the highlight is I feel very safe with the psychological safety. So I want to make sure that everyone around me who works with me feels equally as comfortable having those conversations.
The psychological safety conversation that we had, Elvin, and just knowing that ANZ's a safe place, that together we can talk about things. And if we're going to solve problems, it takes the power of the joint community, and we need that safe environment.
I think the openness of our team, Elvin, that really surprised me in the sessions that we had. We spoke a lot about psychological safety and communication, the importance of being that with our teams, with ourselves, and we came through. It was a great experience.
The painting activity this morning, I found a newfound love of painting, but I think it's a really, really important message, and it's probably something that I raised a couple of times within the session itself, that we often look at things from a silo perspective, what's affecting me right now and what do I need to do about it, and we really don't look at the bigger picture enough.
What's been your key highlight, or maybe even 2 highlights of the 3 days?
Yeah, well, the first and probably the most important is seeing you again. I'll go back to Oz.
I think for me it was around the retail, the gap, and how HR can help more and actually get into the nitty gritty and work as a team. I think I really enjoyed that.
And to understand more about kind of what is actually going on, what ticks with the retail business, how it works, meeting up with Scott, understanding that, the area leaders. And I think I did a pretty good job in giving him some feedback and information in our activity.
I thought you did. Yeah. I think you have a budding career as an area manager or even a country manager. Yeah. But I'm not sure if anyone's going to give you the Guernsey. In line of that, I think, the upskilling of retail is incredibly important for this organisation. It is the engine room of our business. We heard Tony speak about the core business is incredibly important. So I'm really, really pleased to hear that highlight from you, Dom.
The other highlight, I think, would be the Diamond Ball, celebrating the success of our team for 2018. Absolutely wonderful. So many happy people, but critically, so many enjoyably and deservedly happy people. Good stuff.
Because when you've got your head down, you're just delivering on work, you feel like no one notices. So I think recognising all the hard work, everyone is so passionate, and they were very grateful about the awards that they'd received.
The ball was fantastic. I think we rewarded all our people really, really well and showed them the recognition that they deserve. So for an excellent year.
The other thing was the conversation that we had about what can ANZ do to support Enabler, and that is ANZ hitting its objectives, delivering on its commitments, and delivering budget for 19 is the best way we can help.
And, come Monday, what's the commitment that you'll make to the business, given the 3 days here at Live?
Look, I think that what was really beneficial to me was learning more about the Finabler strategy, and we had a lot of information that was presented to us as leaders, and I think that the Live 19 app was a great way to house all of that content. I now want to go and get a bit of a starter kit for my teams to make sure that they feel really comfortable when they hear Finabler used, and it demystifies anything around any uncertainty. So that's my number one takeaway for Monday.
Fantastic. Music to our ears.
So I think the ability to cascade these messages to the finance community. They're back in the office wondering what we're doing and how this is going to better them or impact them, and so taking the message and getting them ready for 19.
It's going to be a really exciting message to go back to say that, TravelX is going to be bigger than ever as part of the Finabler group, and the world is our oyster.
And obviously communicate that with my team at a global level, so we're all aligned.
I think the key takeaway is that at TravelX, historically, we've had quite a siloed approach, and we need to start thinking more holistically. I said it in there, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not just a lawyer. And that's what I'll be taking back to my team.
Come Monday morning, I think the main thing is we're all working together. I think we can get caught up with our own agendas. I think we can get caught up trying to deliver for ourselves and not put the business first. So I think for me, this whole live event's been about working as a team.
For me, it's the message of co-creating. So it's looking at this from how we can co-create within TravelX, but how we really fit into that larger picture as well, and how we work together with all the departments to really play out the vision that we want to achieve.
I think just to lead by example, so where we're kind of still working things out to explain to people that that's okay, and within our teams that we're on the journey together.
For me, I really want the team to understand the Finabler idea and all the brands that sit under there that aren't so, whilst we compete with them in the market, we're also their friends. So how can we work better with them, to try to connect with them, and also how our plans will play out at a granular level, really important.
And what would be one of your key takeaways from Live 19?
The psychological safety was amazing. Actually making sure that when we get back into the real world, that we actually have that environment where we can say how we feel and really collaborate well by being able to talk openly and honestly.
Oh, I think around the psychological safety thing, I think there's a few things there, making people feel safe in an environment, and sort of that two-way dialogue. So that's a big takeaway for me.
I think the whole notion of co-creation and psychological safety has been a big underpinning this whole event. So for me to be able to take that back and ensure that my team members that were part of this, but also my fellow SL team members, that we continue on with that as we get into our normal day-to-day routine.
Dom, come Monday, what is your key takeaway from these 3 days? What's that session that you just went, ooh, yeah, I've got to take that back?
Yeah, well, I think, look, it is a lovely face. I am the face of TravelX out there in the partner network. So, it's my job to get that feedback from our partners to understand exactly what they see great with TravelX and where do they see there can be improvements. And I think now with the Finabler lens, I'm able to identify where I think there's some great opportunities for us. Some of these new products and services, I'm just can't wait for it to be available to us and our partners, and that'll just take us to that next level.
And probably the most important thing is now is for me as a relationship manager and a business development manager is how do I spread the word with our partners.
I think the key for me was the psychological safety discussion, making sure that we're open with our people, that our people can feel safe to be open with us, and encouraging the germination of ideas, the development of those ideas, and critically the execution of the ideas. Very important for us. Thanks, mate.
Fantastic. No, thank you, Mark. It's been a fantastic week. Great to see you again. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a fantastic Live 19 here in ANZ. As you can hear, some unbelievable highlights been taken away by the guys here. And more importantly, those key takeaways that get put in play when they return to the business on Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been it for episode 4. We look forward to seeing you at the next one where we talk to the guys at Live 19 Asia. Until then, take care.